Data backup recovery is Flosum's solution for backing up your data securely and being able to restore it very, very easily and quickly. We developed this in answer to Salesforce a while back, discontinuing their solution for backup and recovery. We saw a big need for that, so we developed our own solution. We put quite a few features into it, made it very, very easy to use. The main focus of this demo is they're going to be the easy use and the speed of the application. So when it comes to backup and recovery, a lot of people are thinking about it or haven't been thinking about it, but they should be, because as Gartner says, next year, 70% of the organizations are going to have issues with data loss. That's huge. You can't recover that data. That's a big problem. Customer data, order data, history data, things like that, the lifeblood of your company. So we make it very easy for you to back it up so you have that availability and you won't run into any of these issues if anything catastrophic does happen. Mainly when it comes to data loss, you can see here the main reasons, and human error is always the number one. Somebody clicks the wrong button or saves the wrong field or whatever. And of course, there's system type errors. So there's, the integration, migration, bad code, things like that. But most cases it's, oops, I didn't mean to delete that type of an error. So, those are something you want to keep in mind when you're going through these different scenarios and how you want to do your backups. The impact of data loss, obviously is cost, time and money. You got to do a lot more work to replace the missing data. If you're using, some other types of solutions, you may have data recovery fees. Your reputation always take a hit if people can't be trusted. You can't be trusted with the customer's data, then you're going to start losing a lot of business. And then, of course, if there's compliance, productivity, etc., many different impacts of data loss. So this is something you definitely want to mitigate before it happens. And as you see, it's critical. Salesforce data is typically the lifeblood of your company. Customer information, order information, opportunities, everything you're doing with your customers is in Salesforce. And you can't afford to lose even one byte of that. So you really have to have a comprehensive scheduled backup scenario where you're doing your backups, based on whether it's a weekly full and a daily incremental, or some customers do, every other day they'll do a full and they'll do a daily, every other incremental every other day, depending how you want to do it. So it's really important to have a backup strategy that will capture all the data. So if you do have a catastrophic event, you're going to minimize the amount of data that you've lost. So now we're going to show you our solution. This is our homepage for our data backup and recovery system. We give you a nice little dashboard. We'll show you all the different orgs you're backing up. We'll be listed in here, and then we give you some overall metrics as far as what's going on for your data usage, the number of records, etc. Then you go through and look at each org and get a nice overview of what's going on. So when I want to go in and look at a specific organization, I click on that, and then we drill down to a dashboard for that org. So it shows you, what's going on in your org, what your API counts are, what the sizes are, etc. When I want to create a backup, very simple. You see I have my list of backups that are running right now. I click on create, and I have a couple of options. I can do a full backup, or I can do incremental backup. And we're about to be releasing the ability to do a template-based backup where you can preset a bunch of configurations ahead of time, making it very easy for you to do specific backups. So if you have project-based backups where you have just a specific set of data you want to back up every time you do a deployment, you can use that. But for right now, when you do a full or incremental, if you do an incremental, you'll choose the backup you want to select it from. But I'm going to show you what it is to do a full. You can exclude any of these large objects if you want to. And then you either decide to back it up now or to schedule this. So you can schedule this daily, weekly, or monthly. So again, our best practice is a full backup weekly and then daily incrementals. But again, you can determine how you want to do that based on your own internal requirements. So once I've done that, and that runs, there's a few different things I can do. I can go in and look at differences between my backups. So I can go in and launch a comparison against this. So let's go in and create a, what do we get here? We'll select backup 1, full, and this. And now we see differences between, oh, here's a name. These will show us the differences between our 2 backups, so we can see just how much the data has changed. So that job is running. We'll be able to look at it very, very soon. Some of the other things you can do when you have your backups, if you want to restore your data, you can select the backup you want to restore from. Now, when you're doing a restoration, typically you're going to do it as it's going to be a partial restoration. So a specific customer's data got deleted, or a specific record got corrupted, or whatever the case is. So we allow you to very easily restore. So you select what you want to restore from. Well, that one's still running, so we'll restore from this. Now it's going through and it's loading all the information, so we can start making choices here. So we can determine what objects we're going to be restoring from. So in this case, we want to restore a specific account record. We can go through and determine what fields we want to restore. I want to restore all of these. And then we can go in and use this declarative filter to start selecting specific records. So I can go in and choose any particular field on this record as a filter, and I can use multiple. So I can use and or. So I could say, for example, if I know that all the records in Los Angeles have been deleted, I can select the billing country is United States and the billing city is Los Angeles. So whatever I want to do in here, I'm going to, oops, sorry about that. So I'm just going to select all objects here, just so you can get an idea of it. And we'll go to our next step. Now, what we want to do here, when we're restoring data, whenever new data is created in the org you're restoring it to, there may be these different actions that are fired off on new data creation. So we want to temporarily disable these. So for example, we're not sending out thousands of emails or hundreds of emails or whatever the case is when we restore the data. And then we decide what we want to apply these to. So we want to turn all of these different activities off on all these different objects. Then we go next, it shows us exactly what it finds for records. So you can see that this is everything I have in here for all the different records. Once I click restore, it'll start restoring those records back to that org. When it's completed, you'll be notified and you'll be able to go on and continue working with those records in that org. So that basically is the tool. It's pretty straightforward. It's simple to set up and use, and it does a really good job of keeping all of your data backed up and easily accessible in the event you need to restore something.